Mark, 3 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 2 minutes until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. If you encounter any technical issues related to this live show broadcast, please call our trouble hotline at 336-464-1806. Mark, 2 minutes until airtime for this live show broadcast. Your next time cue will come with 1 minute until airtime on the Rice Sports Network. Stations, we're coming up on 1 minute until airtime. 1 minute in 5, 4, 3, 2, mark. 1 minute stations, 1 minute until airtime for this live show broadcast. Studios, when you hear, please start your archive recording. Coming up on 30 seconds until airtime on my mark. Mark, 30 seconds. Your next and final time cue will be with 15 seconds until airtime. Coming up on 15 seconds until airtime. Mark, 15 seconds stations. Have fun.
The following is a Learfield presentation of the Rice Sports Network. On the Rice Sports Network from Learfield, live from Palace Social. Welcome to the José Cruz Jr. Show. The José Cruz Jr. Show is brought to you by IBEW Local Union 716, by Carbot, crafted for serious fun, and by Palace Social, one of Houston's premier entertainment and event destinations, offering high-end food and cocktails, bowling, virtual reality, arcade, and so much more. Now, to lead things off, along with the coach, here's the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes, you know, we are back here at Palace Social. It is a wonderful time to talk some Rice Owls baseball here. 4191 Bel Air Boulevard. You can't miss us. Good food, good friends, good times here at Palace Social. We'll talk to the boss here in just a second. It's kind of a mix here this week. We have some pitching theme and a slugger theme as well. We have Owl right fielder Aaron Smigelski. Smiggy, there you go. Smiggy boy, appreciate you coming on out. We also have Owl pitcher Jack Ben Shoshan. How are you doing, Jack? Yeah. Wait, right when he gets that big bite of that big burger. And then we have first-year pitching coach Parker Bangs. Parker, appreciate you. Oh, yeah, standing ovation for Parker. And then Coach Cruz comes back as we preview a busy week of some Rice baseball. Rice in the middle of an 8-game homestand against Lamar tomorrow. Head coach Will Davis in the return game of that series. And then the McNeese Cowboys, 20-11 on the year. They've had a pretty good season. They come in Wednesday. First meeting since 2006 for the Owls. And then head coach Robert Woodard and his Charlotte 49ers coming in this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. But right now, joined by second-year head coach of our Rice House, Bixby Family Head Baseball coach, José Cruz Jr. Jose.
How you doing?
Outstanding. So for those listening / watching and or watching, we moved. Everybody good? We like this? Y'all hear us? Okay, good. Yeah. It was perfect over there too, but we just wanted to sometimes change is okay, and we really like this spot too. So let's talk about the weekend that was against Louisiana Tech. 2 close losses and that really fun win on Saturday. And a crazy game Tuesday across town. So kind of,
right.
As you saw it, sum up that week for us.
It was, we were supposed to play Thursday, Friday, Saturday. The weather was an issue. A lot of concerns with lightning and potentially losing our Friday night guy if he pitched 2 or 3 innings and then lightning delays and all that for both sides, really. And so we decided to skip Thursday, try to figure out how to play Friday, and fortunately we were able to get it in. Friday's game was it was tough. It was a good pitcher's duel. We ended up scoring some runs on a very talented. It seems like that guy Fincher, their left-handed pitcher, has been pitching there forever. I want to say that I remember Trey, my son, facing him years ago, and I'm like, how's this happening? You know, he's been gone for years. So I know Antonio was there facing it. I'm like, I know I've seen this guy already. Oh, he pitched against us last year. And he just competes, a lefty that competes, doesn't have that much stuff, but he makes pitches when he needs to. And we were able to take a lead on him, and we were excited. Parker came in, we started off a little slow, gave up a couple runs in the first inning, but put it together. And I want to say he ended up pitching 5 or 6 innings, pretty strong. Well, we had the guys that we wanted to come in at the pen there, and just they put some good swings. I want to say on Linsky that was pitching. We were battling back and forth, and the next thing you know, I want to say there was a big homer hit and some defensive lapses at the end, and it's like we ended up losing by 2. I want to say it was 6-4. So then we came back next day, another pretty solid starter. We just couldn't get to him. We put pressure, but just couldn't get to him until the end there. We started getting better at bats, and we came close in that last inning to be, you know, we had, I want to say the winning run was up at the plate. Mm-hmm. So we had a shot, and then we took that into the third game, took the lead early. We ended up, the game before second game, we ended up pinch hitting Davini to come in. I thought he's been swinging the bat fairly well at practice. I've been talking to him a lot about what he's doing and what's going on. He's been progressing, and so it felt like a good idea to put him in to pinch hit in the last inning. He ended up getting a big hit with an RBI, and started him the next day doing the same thing, got a base hit, ended up scoring the first run. I want to say Smiggy had a double for him to score. So that gave us the lead, and that we held the lead from there on out, which is great. Tom Vincent came in and pitched very well, was very competitive. They had a lot of left-handed batters in the top of the lineup that were tough, and so he was able to face them and give us a chance at it. And then all of a sudden we just kept passing the baton to the next guy, and they all did well. I want to say Cienfuegos struck out the side, Hamilton pitched excellent, and then Shoshan came in, Mr. JBS came in and shut it down. Those bases were loaded at the end, but made a big pitch, 3-2 pitch, and Owls win.
How, I don't know, gratifying is the word, but you played so close to him in those other games, and that's been the theme we've talked about off air and on air so much, that's kind of been the theme of the season. The team has fought back every time the team's responded, hasn't showed in the win column yet, like obviously you wanted to as soon as possible, but the guys, they're relentless. They kept coming back, and that was the theme in the U of H game and the La Tech series.
It was, it's been a theme really since our first win of the year. The guys definitely, they want to win. They give you a great effort, which is what you want as a coach. Now it starts to get into the process, get into the mentality of what we want from them to be able to win and what it takes to win. And you have to just make sure that you play the entire game. You can't have a lapse in the middle of it. I mean, we are so much better defensively right now than we were a year ago. It's not even funny. But it's like, it's exciting for us to be able to count on that and count on how we position guys and count on how we sequence guys when we're pitching and count on the guys on the staff being able to execute the pitches when it's called upon. So it's all happening. I mean, it's like, I think the best is still yet to come. We just got Garrett Stratton back, which is going to help us also coming out of the pen. So we just got a little more depth, which is great. So it's happening. I think it's happening maybe a little faster than we anticipated. But at the same time, it's like we're so close so many times. I mean, we've had 2 weeks now where we've been 1-3, and we've lost the games by like a run. You know, where we were in every game. We had a shot at winning every game, and we're 1-3. So I mean, it's very close. There's opportunities out there for guys on our team to be able to step up and take a job and move up in the lineup and just be better, right? And be someone we can count on. So it's there, the talent's there, it's just a matter of getting it out.
Do you think that 7-inning doubleheader, it's crazy. It's like Coach Para happened to be up. I said, hey, you should come up some baseball game. And I was like, it was like a basketball game. I was like, hey, it's appropriate. Coach Para was here. And especially when JD was pitching the way he was. Right. In the 7-inning games, they don't allow you any lapses there. So
no.
How do you manage that when you've got, oh my gosh, like one inning makes all the difference? It proved that in your favor in that latter game.
Yeah, no, for sure. It becomes a sprint. So the 7-inning game's a sprint. And I was telling the guys, hey, we got to punch first. The guy who punches first, that's the team that's going to win. And sure enough, it happened in both games. They scored first, they won. And in the second game, we scored first, we won. Just to be able to put that pressure on and hold the lead and play a certain style is definitely easier than having to try and catch up. So those games are exciting, the 7-inning games, and thank God we won one of them.
And almost had that first one. You got 3 runs there. I'm sure you made them pretty nervous there. What went into that comeback? And they got the 4-run 5th inning, but you had 3 runs and a chance to win that one too.
Yeah, for sure. I want to say it started off with Royo had a ball down the line, and then you have a score sheet here.
You read my chicken scratch there.
And then Manny came up and had an at bat. That's it. Then I want to say Jack had a good. Was that a double?
Yeah, double Garza, and then Jack had the single. Yeah.
And then Davini came in, had the big pinch hit. So it was kind of like those things happening where it's exciting because anytime you get a freshman coming in and doing something like that in a big moment, you know, it reminds us of like what Paul Smith did a few weeks ago. Also came in, get a big pinch hit, and next thing you know, he hits a big homer for us to be able to win. I want to say it was against UTSA that he did that. So those are all good things, man. It's just we're deeper than we were a year ago. So I'm glad for it. I think we're only going to get better. We're only going to get deeper as we keep moving on.
Tell us a little more about Davini in that situation because, I mean, I heard a lot about him going into the season, but that was just the 4th game he had played. And he just comes in, smokes it, and then did really well leading off that next game.
And we have discussions with the staff about this all the time. It's sometimes freshmen come in and they don't know exactly how to handle the situation. Sometimes they're wide-eyed about some things, and there is a little bit of a jump in the level of baseball. I mean, for me, it's like it's still baseball. You're trying to compete the best you can. But sometimes it takes a little bit of time to get your feet wet and figure out that you are good enough to handle the league. I mean, Ben Royo is an example of it. You know, he started out, he was a little wide-eyed, and then all of a sudden he's starting to feel like I can do it. And then he's seen some success of late, which is great. Same with Paul Smith, kind of starting off like that. So those don't happen all the time. And Davini was like that. He was a little bit wide-eyed at the beginning, a little nervous about what he's doing. And then as he kept working, it's almost like, okay, now he's ready to go out there and compete, which is all we want. And he was able to get some success and earn himself a couple more starts.
How about that wild one Tuesday at U of H? That was crazy, and just add to the fuel of that rivalry.
Right.
One pitch here or there. I mean, credit them obviously with the comeback, but your guys did a lot right. What did you like that the guys showed in that one?
Well, it was definitely it was offensive without a doubt, and the guys kept coming back. So that was another one of those days where we're like, they score, we score, they score, we score, and then we got going there. I mean, that's really one of those games that I think we should have won. We had the lead. I want to say, like a 5-run lead or something at some point. But they kept coming back. They hit a bunch of homers that day. They swung the bat well. We had ourselves a few homers as well. I think Smiggy hit one over the batter's eye. That was impressive. But it would have been nice to shut them down one time. I think they scored every inning. I want to say maybe not the first, but everything after that they scored. One here, one there, one here, one there. We could have been a little bit better defensively that day. We spoke about it. That's the part about playing 9 innings and not really giving the other team a break. And that game, I think we gave them a few breaks that really cost us, and probably gave them like 4 runs because of it. But I mean, we take those moments as a learning moment to teach the guys, not just one person, but the entire team, a mentality that you have to have, and just an assertiveness you must have in order to be successful. And hopefully that carries over and we don't make those mistakes again.
Did a quick glance at the book. Over the 4 games this week, 11, 12 of the runs scored by the bottom of the order. How instrumental is that as the team matures? And a lot of that's Royo, too, and Smiggy at one point, how the guys just 1 to 9. There's not really too much let up there, but guys that can cause damage.
Right. The bottom part is extremely important. I do have a theory that the 7-hole hitter is always like, that's like the honey hole of doing something special in the day. So it's a coveted spot for me. Okay. Whoever I put there, it seems like whoever hits there hits well. So that you start there and then maybe you work your way to the middle of the lineup. But the guys that have been turning over the lineup, I mean, Manny's been down there. He's been really good. Actually, Royo and Manny back to back were really good. And then at one point it was I want to say it was Smiggy, Manny, and Royo back to back, and they were really good. So those guys turning the lineup over and giving Gallo and Garibay at the time when he was top of the lineup, hold it back a shot at driving some guys in is important. Because those guys are going to hit. They're going to hit. Even though last week I don't know if they hit that great, but it's going to happen. They're going to hit. So as long as that bottom of the lineup keeps creating pressure, I think good things are to come for the Rice offense.
It was good to see Guy Garibay get that dinger in the first game on Saturday, game 2 of the series. You think guys, things are clicking again for him? I know he's toughening some things out.
Yeah, I think so. He's had some tough luck as well. Hitting lined out a bunch. Yeah. He gets pitched to as tough as anyone in our lineup. But yeah, we need Guy to be good for us to be good. So I think it's averages, right? You go through ups and downs, and next thing you know, he'll be red hot, and he'll be hitting the top of the lineup.
So I'm not going to lie, I edged up a little bit on my seat when I saw Stratton warming up in the bullpen, because talking to Parker before the year, and you've had good things. Just tell us about the young guy, how he only pitched an inning, but I know that. Just want to edge him back in there. But Greater Houston Player of the Year as a senior at Strake Jesuit down the road. So tell us a little bit about him.
Well, he's definitely a special guy, special talent. He's local, absolutely Strake Jesuit High School. He's 100% a Rice type guy. Very smart, very dynamic, is fearless when he goes and competes. He's a guy that has as much potential as anyone on our staff, has potential to be a Friday night guy as he progresses, I think. So he's sky's the limit for him. So for him to be able to pitch and either come out the pen or whatever ends up happening with him is definitely a bonus for us. It creates more depth. For our guys, for our staff, it makes our team better, so we're happy to have him.
You think McCracken's line Saturday is a little deceiving? I mean, he had that one big inning. They got to him that last part. You think JD is still consistent there in that Saturday spot?
No, absolutely. I think he's starting to build up and ramp up to be definitely something special. One of the guys that will be should be a starter for us, really. I think he's starting to get closer to where maybe he ends up getting 80 pitches, maybe he gets 100 pitches. But, you have to build up to that, and I think he's working his way to that. He's efficient. He throws a lot of strikes. When he throws a lot of strikes, he's definitely tough to hit. I think there's always, like towards the end, he gets maybe a little tired, and there might be like a little bit of lapse, and there's a couple runs that score. So hopefully as you keep training and you keep getting better at what you're doing, and you keep understanding how you feel and how to treat your body, you definitely could see him pitching 5, 6, 7 innings at any given time.
All right, Coach, thanks a lot. I looked, I was like, went over my time, but that's a good thing. Thank you, Coach. Had a lot to talk about.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. Bixby family head baseball coach of our Rice Owls, Jose Cruz Jr. We go on the slugging side of things coming up next. Maybe talk a little hockey with Aaron Smigelski coming up next here live at Palace Social. This is the Jose Cruz Jr. Show from Learfield.
DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Have no post-game plans? You do now. Head down the street to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village and relax over indoor and outdoor games, sports, and drink specials that a college student can't refuse. All you have to do is bring your student ID to enjoy $2.50 domestic drafts. Also, don't miss out on our Thursday college nights as we've got $2 domestic drafts and $3 shot specials. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on all of our upcoming events and specials. Little Woodrow's, the official Rice Owls game day headquarters.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
From the first pitch to the final out.
And the Ole Miss Rebels are your national champions.
We've got your college baseball fix.
Dial in for the latest news and nuggets about the dudes on the diamond from the boys who know it best.
Take a trip around the bases with us, Kyle Schasberger, David Kahn, and Michael Serber as we journey toward Omaha.
We've got the inside scoop, even on raccoons.
My redneck took over, and I just reached down and grabbed it.
Climb aboard by searching College Sports Now.
Live at Palace Social, this is the José Cruz Jr. Show. Now, alongside the coach, let's rejoin the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Welcome back here at Palace Social. It is a fantastic spot to talk some Rice baseball. I dove right into it with Coach earlier, and on the audio painting the picture side of things. I didn't do it a just cause, as they've got, if you didn't hear us last week or if you weren't out here, they've got a huge 8-lane bowling alley. They got a Sunday spot. They got some VR over here, a big arcade. It is amazing here. Fitting for our next guest here, number 28 on your Rice Owls roster, Smiggy, Aaron Smigelski. How are you?
Good. How are you doing?
Outstanding. Thanks for coming. Smiggy, we'll talk about the hockey in a second. That's prone to pretty basic nicknames like baseball. Do you have another nickname? Or has it always been Smiggy?
It's pretty much always been Smiggy my entire life, yeah. Nothing else besides that.
Yeah, don't overthink it, right?
No, it's easy to remember, so yeah. I like it. It's easy.
Just makes sense. So tell us about your improvement as of late. Just what's gone into that? Obviously, seeing the ball well, hitting the ball well, but balancing, playing right field. I guess last 7-8 starts have been out there and right.
Yeah, so I would say from the offensive standpoint, just getting on time with fastball, again, has been a big thing for me. Working on, like, some small tweaks with the swing, but nothing major, and just going up there, positive mentality for the last few weeks, and since then I've been good. And from the defensive standpoint, just learning the angles a little different, like how the ball is hit off different people's bats and stuff like that, but the outfield hasn't been, like, too difficult of a thing for me to learn, really.
Yeah, because obviously everybody on the team is an athlete, and you having a lot of other sports experience too, but playing right field, you might be a little modest. It's not as easy to adjust to. Did you have some other right field experience in the past? Because I know you had some left and third base last year.
Right field, I played a few games in summer ball and right, but besides that, I haven't played much right field in my life, so not too much from that standpoint.
So you had a tough schedule this year. How going out to Stanford and playing, I guess, the last I saw, the 27th toughest schedule in the nation, how tough was that? And then going against that, and obviously it's made you and the team better in the long run, it seems. Is that accurate?
Yeah, it was a tough schedule. I think personally I just wasn't really happy with how I was performing early on, knowing that I didn't personally think the pitchers that I was facing that were getting me out were great. So that was a little disappointing at the beginning because I thought I was just more beating myself rather than them beating me, which I don't like to do. So I would say tough schedule, like good teams. They're good. They know how to win late in games, which I think was the reason why we were losing some games early on, is we were kind of giving it to them at the end. But I think that's good for the road, like for the next month or two. It will help us in the season.
What's been the key this year to make the improvement? I forget the exact total, but you guys didn't have your 15th, 16th win till a month after this time last year. I know this is not where y'all want to end up, but what's been the big difference for the improvement this year?
I think everybody's just come into practice with a good mentality, wanting to get better. We've been good as a team so far, working together, and I think that's the big improvement, is we're just getting after it in practice, and it's really showing up in games.
So how is it, and I've seen you obviously having lots of talk with the coaches around the cage, but you got a 13-year big leaguer in Coach Cruz, 9-year big leaguer in Coach Giannis out there that you kind of bend their ears. So how nice is that to have that kind of tutelage out there?
Yeah, it's great. It's great to learn from them in certain situations where I feel like I need to ask them questions, especially like every game I seem like I'm asking Coach Cruz, like especially about certain pitches or a certain situation where I need to, like, where I'm not totally positive the answer. So I like to be able to go up to him and see what his thoughts are about it. And I think it helps me a lot throughout the game and throughout the whole season.
Discuss playing in the outfield next to Connor Walsh. I'm sure he'll be a guest next week. And you got to have, because I saw a couple plays this weekend, Connor had like that one stretch, 3 or 4 in a row against La Tech, where there's obviously a lot of communication. So how nice has it been getting used to that patch of real estate next to him, no matter where you play?
Well, I think it's made it a lot easier for me. I think Connor's a great center fielder and a great defender in general. So it makes it a lot less pressure for me, knowing that he's going to get to a lot more balls in the gaps rather than me have to get there. And he's taught me a lot about the communication, him and Guy, about the communication aspect of like the outfield. So being around them too is like really good since I'm learning it right now.
Talking to Aaron Smigelski here on the José Cruz Jr. Show at Palace Social. So growing up in North Carolina, who is your major league team of choice? Did you have a couple? Or
I was a Tigers fan early on because my dad's from Detroit, so that was my MLB team. Now it's probably like the Tigers and the Braves are probably my top two, just because I go to a lot more Braves games when I'm back home.
Favorite Major League Baseball player or two? Or
mine's probably Miguel Cabrera is my favorite player of all time, so I would say he's my favorite, and probably Matt Olson or Freddie Freeman.
Yeah.
I like their games a lot, so those are probably my top three.
I'm sure you obviously know this with Coach Cruz. You ever like, hey, get Miggy, get a little contact, or you don't want to play that card yet?
Not yet. Yeah, I don't think I'm at that level yet. So I think that will be down the road for sure.
And play it cool if and when it does happen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. So discuss coming up, playing baseball, playing hockey. I remember you telling us last year how you had the decision, what it was 12 or 13, 14, where you decided to go full all in on baseball. But there's still a lot of tough guy hockey, and you always talk about it because you lead the world in hit by pitches, especially it seems the bases loaded. How much is that a part of you playing hockey back in the day?
Hockey is a big part of me and my family. We grew up, it was probably the biggest sport for my family growing up. So I enjoy it, and I still do. I wish I could still play it as much as I used to, but I can't. But it just taught me some toughness. How to chirp people is probably one of the big things it taught me.
How to what people? Sorry.
Like chirp people.
Okay.
Like get underneath people's skin.
I got you.
So that's something it taught me. But it taught me how to be a good teammate with people and communicate well. Because in hockey, you have to communicate well, or you can screw one of your friends a lot if you don't communicate when you're passing and stuff. So that's one of the things, the biggest thing it taught me.
But I played hockey idiocy. Grew up around Dallas, kind of bandwagon fan of the Stars when they were really good. But you baseball guys are similar. There's a lot of crossing over, right? I mean, especially the toughness, right?
Yeah. So yeah, I had my cousin played in like the minors or hockey, and he went to the Frozen Four, and then he lost in the national championship to Boston College. So I grew up around like a lot of hockey. Like my dad played in Michigan, he lost in the state championship game. So like, yeah, the toughness is there. Like you can see, like my dad's been through a lot. So I've learned the toughness, a part of that, and how it's dealt with him and my whole family. So like seeing that every day has been pretty cool.
So Carolina Hurricanes fan, or is it kind of like baseball?
It's the same thing, Hurricanes and Red Wings. Right now it's the Hurricanes because they win a lot more, so I can go to some playoff games, which is cool when I go back.
All right, tell us a little bit about Jack coming up. I know, like, coming from the position side that he was to just pitching, you don't cross over too much, but just tell us something we might not know about Jack.
Jack, me and him joke a lot. Whenever I see like an 84 on the scoreboard, I always think it's a fastball, but it's actually a slider because I never see him throw a fastball. So with Jack, that's about it. Like, he's probably going to throw 99% sliders when you see him. So that's my only thing with Jack.
All right, well, give us fall ball. Take us behind the scenes. Who's winning who? I'm sure you baseball players remember everything and every pitch. So
well, yeah, the first at bat, I remember he threw me 3 sliders and struck me out. So that wasn't great. And then the second at bat, I was just going to look middle in the whole time because I knew he was going to try to go in with sliders. He made a bad slider, and I think I hit it for a home run, but that's about it. But I think we're pretty even at this point.
Yeah, good deal. You got Charlotte coming in this weekend. I'm sure out of all the teams, you know more of those guys than any of them. That was part of the reason I wanted to have you on. Is that different? Or in summer ball, I'm sure you're used to playing against guys that you know a lot of them.
Yeah, I know a few guys over there. I've played with a lot of them in high school. But they got a lot of transfer guys, so I don't know. I've played against 5 or 6 of their guys. I've played with 3 or 4 of their guys. So it'll be cool to see them, catch up on Thursday, whenever they come in town. But after that, it's going to be all business, and we're going to get after it this series and see who comes out on top.
Hey, thanks for coming on.
Thanks you for having me.
Yeah, appreciate it.
Thank you.
Smiggy. Aaron Smigelski, my dad's favorite player, by the way. I'm sure he's listening, watching out there. Loves updates on Smigelski. Stay tuned. JBS, Jack Ben Shoshon, comes to the high table here. Back in a moment, more of the José Cruz Jr. Show live at Palace Social from Learfield.
We interrupt your top 40 hits to issue this alert from the Karbach Brewing Company. In our efforts to brew our distinct and popular Hopadillo IPA, we have unwittingly created a monster. A monster with an insatiable thirst. A monster that will not stop until it gets what it wants. An ice-cold Hopadillo IPA. Just like the one I'm holding in my hand. Bold, flavorful, dry-hopped, irresistible. Oh, sweet Mary! Hopadillo. Find it before it finds you. Bravely brewed in Texas by the Karbach Brewing Company.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Howdy Homemade Ice Cream is here. Howdy is an ice cream shop in Katy, Texas that makes ice cream in-house and has a unique mission to employ individuals that are differently abled. Stop by and enjoy some ice cream. With every scoop you buy, you help support employment for special needs. Coming to Rice Athletics venues in the fall.
The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great. When your next construction project needs to be on time and on budget, hire the electricians that light up Rice University. Learn more at IBEW716.net.
Hey, it's JP here to tell you that, yes, there's more Rice Owls content out there for you to consume. Subscribe and download the official podcast of Rice Athletics, Rice Owls Insider. Rice Owls Insider provides a unique new look at a variety of head coaches, players, and other integral voices inside the Rice Athletics department. Plus, you can find archive coaches shows as well. For the best in Rice Owls content, subscribe to Rice Owls Insider, the official podcast of Rice Athletics. Available on Apple, Stitcher, and Spotify.
Welcome back to the José Cruz Jr. Show. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Welcome back. We have our own little nook And big area here. Thanks to all of y'all for coming on out here. Great crowd. We're here every Monday night. Yes, indeedy. Here 7 until 8 p.m. the rest of the regular season. And talking with guys like this. Number 12 on your Rice Owls roster. He is a sophomore from St. John's High School just down the road. Jack Ben Shoshang. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you for having me.
Yeah. Thanks for coming. Thanks for bringing. Most players don't bring their own cheering section.
Yeah, it's nice. They follow me pretty much everywhere the season takes me.
That's a good problem to have. Got mom and dad here. Met them before, so no nerves. I mean, you're a Rice guy. You can handle pressure, so that's okay.
Yeah, I'm all good.
So your dad goes to Stanford. You're just telling me during the break, going back out there to his alma mater. He didn't play, but that had to be really cool. One of the first times, I guess, pitching out where dad.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I grew up a Stanford fan for football. So it was kind of a little bit personal when we went out there.
Yeah.
So, we get to go out and play there. It's really big. We didn't get the result we wanted to, but a bunch of his friends who went to Stanford got to be at the games. Of course, they were there. It was really cool.
Yeah. So discuss growing up around here, just down the road. Never been to the St. John's campus, but I know it's obviously pretty close. And being kind of on the outside, as you were connecting the dots for me in the break, obviously most everybody around baseball in Houston has some connection to Rice. So you have your own narrative here, and just what made you choose Rice?
Yeah, I mean, growing up in Bel Air is really close. Games were really easy to go to. I got to go to a ton of them with Tanner Fox, as I told you during the break. And then, the opportunity presented itself to me, and it just made so much sense that I could stay close to home. My family, my parents, my grandparents could still come to watch all of my games. That was a huge part. And then the academics can't beat it. And then the historical nature of just Rice baseball, you also just can't beat that.
Yeah. What are you studying?
I'm doing sport law.
Okay. That's a new one for me.
Yeah, it opens a lot of opportunities. I really want to work in the front office after baseball, after my career finishes. Just want to keep baseball as close to me as possible.
Interesting. No, on the other side of that, being an agent, I know a lot of agents start on the law side of things or just front office, because those seem like conflicting different paths, right?
Yeah. The main goal is be a general manager. That seems pretty awesome to me, but being sport law, you can be an agent, you can do any front office job. If at some point I decide, sports, I'm tired of sports, I can just go be a lawyer. There's a lot of options that it offers me.
Got a few, probably throw a rock, hit about 10 lawyers out of the audience here. So you've made a really good transition from being a position player last year. I remember, I guess it was Coach Giannis last year. Yeah, he'll be a pitcher next year. So discuss going to do that and how, again, I'm not trying to make it seem like it's easy, but how you've made it look pretty seamless with some good numbers.
I pretty much have to give a lot of the credit to Coach Bangs. The slider, all of that is all his design. The mechanical changes, it's all him, and I really bought into everything that he's been telling me. I spent a lot of the fall trying to watch all of my outings, a lot of the film, trying to learn what I'm doing wrong, but at the same time not trying to dig too much into the analytics, because I know sometimes you can get stuck in that and it puts you into a pretty big hole. But really just trying to buy into exactly what kind of a pitcher he wanted me to be, and really understanding exactly what that means. Being a slider pitcher, you got to be able to throw it for strikes, for chase pitches, and then still be able to control your fastball to get somebody off of that, off the slider, to make it even more effective. So it really was just buying into that whole process and knowing that the beginning of the fall wasn't going to be the best. I was going to get hit because I was still learning mechanically and slider wise, still learning how to manage all of it. But just knowing that trusting the process was going to get me results that I needed.
So was Smiggy's tale of y'all facing each other and fall accurate or close to accurate?
Yeah, it was pretty perfect. First outing, I threw him pretty much 3 perfectly executed sliders. I couldn't have asked for better ones. Second time I faced him, it was the exact same game plan, and I just happened to give him a little too much plate. And he's giving me a little too much credit because he crushed that ball. But then I got him the next at-bat with a good changeup. Got him to roll over to first base, so it's kind of a back and forth. It's fun to face him.
Did you pitch a lot at St. John's, I imagine?
I pitched a little bit in the first couple of years. My senior year was the big year when I started being an actual starting pitcher. And I pitched a pretty good amount my senior year until I eventually got hurt, and that ended my season.
Yeah. So transitioning to Rice, was that pretty easy call to make coming here once that communication started?
Yeah, it was pretty seamless for me. I talked to Giannis a couple times, and to be completely honest, the second he gave me that offer, I really knew that was the place for me. The first thing I did is I told my brother I was really excited, and within a few days I'd already told him, this is the place for me.
Mm-hmm. What's been the biggest challenge this year, as you went through last year, obviously, but seeing the growth this year? What have you seen you guys, and pitchers, just as a team too, overcome? It seems like you guys, like I was talking with Coach in the first segment, have battled back a lot. And that goes to the mound too, and a lot of what Coach Banks has taught you all.
Yeah, I think last year a big problem we had was we'd get down in a game, and it just seemed that a good amount of our players, pitchers and hitters, would shut down, kind of be like, oh, here we go again. This year it's been completely the opposite. I think a majority of the games where the other team scores first, we answer back. And then the bullpen, I think, has been a lot more reliable than it was last year, where we can trust in each of the guys to really attack and really buy into what Banks' approach wants them to be.
You're pretty no-nonsense when you get out there. Not saying the other guys lollygag around, but just from me knowing you a little bit, not saying we're best friends or anything, but just seeing you, where does that come from? Obviously, everybody's competitive that does this, so but you're all business, man.
Yeah, I don't really know where that came from. It might be something to do with the walkout song, being a little heavy metal. I mean, as soon as I run out of the bullpen, everything kind of like shuts down. Like, I got blinders everywhere. There could be a bunch of people just screaming at me, and I promise you I hear nothing. So it's really just laser focus, and I'm not really sure where that came from, but it's definitely helped me a lot.
So only halfway through, just a little bit more than your first year pitching, have you had a favorite moment and or team moment so far?
Favorite moment is either my outing at HCU or the outing at UAB. UAB might take the cake because that was the first conference game I got to pitch in. Got to throw 2 innings, which was really big. Came in tie game. Late in the game on the line. They score a run, game's over, and I managed to throw 2 good innings, and we end up winning the game. So that was really big for me.
What's the key the rest of the way? You got so much of the season left, and you guys, like Coach had said, and you had said earlier, you've improved. The old softball question, what do you have to do the rest of this season with so much of the season left?
I think we just got to keep building on the stuff we've been doing well. I think pitching-wise, it's really been 1 inning where we've lost the game, but other than that, we've played 7-8 really good innings of baseball. So trying to eliminate that, I think will give us a really big edge on other teams, keep the momentum on our side, and I think that'll really help us in the long run if we can do that.
Hey, thanks for coming out. Appreciate you.
Yeah, thank you so much for having me.
Yeah, Jack Ben-Joshan of our Rice Owls. Stay tuned. Coming up next, I mentioned this guy, pitching coach Parker Banks will come up to the high table. We'll talk some Owls pitching coming up next. It is the José Cruz Jr. Show live from Palace Social. This is Rice Baseball from Learfield.
Owls fans, you may not think of yourself as an athlete, but everyday life is full of athletic feats. You bend, you reach, you lift, you twist until back, neck, or shoulder pain hits, which brings you to a stop. So whether you're an athlete or not, the Joint Chiropractic can help ease your pain and keep you on the active list. Visit any of our 40-plus Houston area locations or thejoint.com today to get your first consultation, exam, and adjustment for just $29. The Joint Chiropractic, the official chiropractor of Rice University Athletics.
Houston, we have a cocktail. All Hands Canned cocktails are made with 6 times distilled craft vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classics. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself at the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Have no post-game plans? You do now. Head down the street to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village and relax over indoor and outdoor games, sports, and drink specials that a college student can't refuse. All you have to do is bring your student ID to enjoy $2.50 domestic drafts. Also, don't miss out on our Thursday college nights as we've got $2 domestic drafts and $3 shot specials. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram to stay up to date on all of our upcoming events and specials. Little Woodrow's, the official Rice Owls game day headquarters.
College sports fans now have access to hundreds of weekly podcasts that zero in on the college sports world. Now available in the Varsity Podcast Network and part of the new Varsity app. The app is free and available from wherever you get your favorite apps. Download the Varsity app today to have access to hundreds of national podcasts as well as your favorite team-focused podcasts. The Varsity Podcast Network now available for free on the Varsity app. Download from the App Store and listen today.
Live at Palace Social, this is the José Cruz Jr. Show. Now, alongside the coach, let's rejoin the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Yes. Back here at Palace Social. Have Parker Banks here in seconds. Palace Social, your family-friendly restaurant, entertainment, event venue, short drive from Rice University, right after Holcomb turns into Bel Air. We are a stone's throw away from campus. Bowling lanes, high-end food and craft cocktails, virtual reality, much more. Book your next event, palacesocial.com. Good food, good friends, and good times at Palace Social. Joined now by first-year pitching coach for Rice Owls, Parker Banks.
How's it going?
Good. More importantly, how are you?
I'm doing great.
Yeah.
This the Palace Social, you said it's called? Yeah. I was not expecting all this when I walked in here. This place is pretty cool.
Yeah, we were talking about it last week. It's kind of sensory overload. So I've met your young one a while back during basketball season, but he would have he'd have some fun here. Any kiddo too.
Yeah, he would be full tilt here. He's a big fan of arcades. I don't know how he'd be able to do with the bowling ball. Probably heavy. He's only 4, so he tries to do deadlifts in the garage gym with the kettlebells. It's actually really funny. He does that. I have a lot of videos of him not be able to lift it. But he would have a lot of fun here for sure.
So a lot of baseball we could talk about, but first leading up, I've heard Coach Cruz talk about it last week, and you even told me how the interview went with Coach Cruz leading up to here. So discuss your path coming to Rice. Obviously did well at Davidson, top 10 in the nation in ERA, and you've done some really good this season transforming the staff and the bullpen. So discuss that first encounter and how it kind of got rolling after that, didn't it?
Yeah, so Coach Cruz was not the first person to reach out. Coach Giannis was. So I got an email from Paul asking if I had time to talk, and I happened to be with the rest of the staff at Davidson in our volley at the time. I was like, see ya. So I guess he knew something before I knew it. So Coach Giannis asked if I'd have any interest. I'm like, yeah, are you serious? It's Rice. Like, of course I have interest. And then that turned into a conversation with Coach Cruz, which, we hit it off immediately. It was probably an hour and a half conversation, and it's just 2 Ps from the jump. So that was really cool to know and, hear his vision for the program and hear, that he's player first and player development oriented, which it lines up with exactly what I wanted to do. So and I had an interview with a bunch of people on Zoom and then was invited out, and I'm on the plane, and we land, and I text Kirby in like 11 seconds after. I had a guy call me, but I'm I'm thinking, all right, this is the interview, this is the last step, don't mess it up. And then a black Mercedes-Benz with big racing tires pulls up. I'm like, all right, I don't think this is an interview. I think this might be a recruiting pitch, and I'm here for it. So just don't mess it up. That's ultimately what it was. And then just see campus. I think we went to El Mason the first night, not to give another restaurant a plug here at the...
Good stuff.
Yeah. So, but no, I just... Coach Cruz, Coach Janish, all good. It was great. And then, like I tell people all the time, I feel like I've been on the staff for 10 years. Like the fit was immediate, which is really cool and really rare. Been a lot of different places, and it's not always like that.
Yeah, and I agree from the little I've seen on the inside. I know fans can agree too. So that was before, and now since the season started, obviously in the first year and still transforming this to what it used to be, there have been some bumps, but also some highlights. What have you liked, and what are some things that the guys and everybody could improve on here?
I think the main thing that I've liked, especially from the pitchers, has been the buy-in has been immediate. You know, I think that they were hungry for that. And the approach that I bring with me is the individualized approach, where I work with them to figure out what works best for them. And not necessarily who I think they should be, but they have some semblance of autonomy, even if sometimes it's a placebo autonomy. There is a semblance of autonomy in everything that we do. So their willingness to buy in, you got to check them every once in a while because they get complacent from time to time. But for the most part, the buy-in has been great. The work ethic has been great, and the focus has been really good as well. So moving forward, I think the main thing that we need to work on is just establishing that level of consistency that we're looking for, right? So we know exactly what we're getting, and no one's going to be good every single time. That's impossible, you know, and that's one of the drawbacks of how we do it, where I'm sure people have noticed we're using like 7 people a game. But, you know, the more people you use, the more likely it is for someone not to have it that day. But that's kind of part of the system at play, where if someone doesn't have it, next guy up, pass the baton, like Coach Cruz said earlier. So, but the thing we need to work on is establishing that consistency a little bit better. I think that'll do us really well.
How about the consistency? Speaking of Parker Smith in that Friday role, he joined us last week when we were across the restaurant there. But, man, it's hard to nitpick, but even like his start this past week wasn't his best, but it was almost more impressive to see what he bounced back from to put you in position for the W.
Right. And I mean, knowing that you're going to get a good start to start the weekend out, I mean, you can't really put a price on that. From a team morale standpoint, from a chance to win game standpoint, I mean, he's been great for us since the beginning of the season.
And seeing the transition, Justin Long, you did it before, going from catcher to pitcher, winning a national title. It worked out for you. So how about Justin and what he's done? Because I've seen it happen once before. We had a guy, Matt Dittman, years ago that I remember seeing personally do it, but he's made it look easier than I think it is.
Yes, and again, I did it. That's not. Yeah. He's way better at it than I was at. Like, it took me a lot longer to buy into the "I'm just a PO" idea, and maybe there's some semblance of me having some insight on that as to help, you know, why we're apparently the position player to pitcher school now. You know, with our guy Ben Show as well. So. But I mean, Long's really, really talented. The arm's really good. The fastball's really, really good. Just, again, working on ironing out some of those other nuances of pitching that he just hasn't quite gotten there yet, but he's picking it up really, really quickly. And I mean, the future is really bright there, I think.
Another guy you've molded in that through 3 scoreless in, say, Sunday, game 3, the second game of the doubleheader Saturday, Tom Vincent. He's progressed nicely. What have you liked from him?
Again, just the willingness to change, you know, and that's something that it's rare, where you have guys who have done things a certain way, especially the smarter the guy, that generally they're going to be more detail-oriented, more routine-oriented, not want to vary off of what they do. But, I mean, Tom has essentially, we've changed everything. Like last year he was a higher slot, high ride. Now he's embraced the lower slot. He likes that his arm doesn't hurt every day. And he's still really young and really learning this whole new idea of how to throw. So, you know, on days where he's aggressive and he's attacking, he's almost impossible to hit, especially for lefties.
Yeah. And how about Christian Cienfuegos? We saw some fireworks, and we're accustomed to seeing that from CC. But how great he's done. One scoreless in that game. He got the win of the one win of that weekend. Just how about the way CC is built on what he did last year?
He's been great. And I mean, and him and Tom, like you look at the stat sheet from last year and it's not, you're like, wow, how are they guys that are contributing this year, But again, they've really, really bought in. They put the work in. CC's really embraced who he is. We pitch sometimes his changeup is his main fastball, which is kind of weird, but it makes the fastballs play up. And he's another one that has kind of reinvented himself, where he was a high ride guy, pitch off the really big curveball. Now he's a sinker, slider, changeup guy because that's better for him. And I mean, he's full tilt every time he throws. It's super aggressive. He's coming at you, as evidenced by the guy he struck out on Saturday. And you want guys like that. Not that you want to encourage guys fighting in games and stuff, but you'd rather have guys who you have to reel back in as opposed to crank up. And CC's he's starting to establish himself. I hope he doesn't actually hear this. That'd be tough. But he's starting to establish himself as kind of a leader on the pitching staff, which is cool to see and not, what I expected after that first meeting. And it really speaks to how he's blossoming as a player, as a human, and as a pitcher.
So having played at South Carolina, won a national title. They won a title after you left there, too, and a legendary coach, Ray Tanner, and Rice winning it, make that the standard again. How much do you think that helps, having that pedigree? You may not think you're that young, but you're still really young in this business. And that wasn't too long ago that you were there winning a national title. How big is that for the culture here?
I mean, it feels like it's a long time ago. I appreciate that, but it feels like it was a lifetime ago. With all the stuff that's happened in my career as a coach and all the stops I've been at, and all the places I've been. But it's invaluable to have that. Having lived in that environment where we knew what it took to win, and there was no doubt ever of who we were playing. It didn't matter. So I mean, the team we beat in the national championship game was UCLA, and Garrett Cole started. And it was. We know he's 94, 97. He throws sliders 91. It doesn't matter. He doesn't have anything for us. And it was just that thought process, that mentality where, because of what we had been through each fall together, the environment that was created, just pure competition from beginning to end, like get better or get out. So it's a tough environment to be in, but it also helped us out tremendously when we get into the national championship series and our second baseman makes 2 errors and we're making fun of him in the dugout for it. We're not losing our mind like, oh, geez, we lost the game. It's like, dude, Scotty, come on, man, like figure it out. So it's a battle-tested way. It's a very battle-tested team. And it's something that I think I'm trying, not quite that intense, obviously, but it's something that I pull back on, like how did Coach Tanner do this? How did Coach Tanner do this? How did he motivate? How did he drive us to this? So it's an invaluable wealth of knowledge to pull back from.
Hey, it's been great so far. I know this won't be the last time we talk, but thanks for everything. And next time, kiddo, you can have the free reign of this place.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah, I wouldn't be able to have the headset on if he's here.
Thanks.
Appreciate it,
Parker. Parker Baines, first-year Owls pitching coach. Stay with us. Coming up next, Coach Cruz and I will close it out, and we're back with more here at Palace Social. More of the Jose Cruz Jr. Show from Learfield.
The lights, the sounds, the cameras, the electricity. If you can feel it, hear it, see it, chances are an IBEW electrician built it. The members of the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers Local 716 built the things that make Rice University and Houston great, and we want you to join us. Excellent training, fantastic benefits in retirement, and 0 student loan debt. Build a better career. To find out more, visit IBEW716.net.
DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites is the preferred hotel for anybody visiting the Medical Center, the Museum District, or Rice University. We offer the largest suites in the Medical Center, complete with full kitchens, and our full-service restaurant and outdoor pool will make your stay complete. We look forward to having you experience the DoubleTree by Hilton Houston Medical Center Hotel and Suites soon. And if you need a group rate or 10 or more rooms, don't forget to call 713-528-7744. That's 713-528-7744.
Houston, We have a cocktail. All hands canned cocktails are made with 6 times distilled craft vodka at a sturdy 10% ABV to ensure you never have to sacrifice the quality of your provisions. Now available in 6 natural flavors, including raspberry lemonade, ruby red grapefruit, cherry limeade, cranberry and vodka soda, and vodka tonic classics. Follow the adventure on Instagram at @DrinkAllHands and try these bar-strength cocktails for yourself at the next game. All Hands, damn fine cocktails. Proud sponsor of Rice Athletics.
Big trip on the horizon? Before you depart, you gotta park. The parking spot is a simpler, easier way to navigate airport parking, and you can save when you book online. You're guaranteed a spot, and we even pick you up at your trunk in our yellow and black spotted shuttles and take you straight to the terminal. Parking and saving come full circle at the parking spot. The Parking Spot, proud sponsor of Rice University. Visit theparkingspot.com to reserve your spot today.
Another season of women's and men's college sports is underway. Follow your alma mater or favorite team in their pursuit of the prestigious Learfield Directors Cup at L Directors Cup on Twitter and online at thedirectorscup.com. Trophies will be awarded in June 2023 to the winning institutions in all competitive divisions. Learfield Directors Cup, the crowning achievement in college athletics.
Welcome back to the Jose Cruz Jr. Show. Here again, the voice of the Owls, J.P. Heath.
Wrapping it up here at Palace Social again, 7 to 8 every Monday night for the rest of the season. And you can catch us on the Rice Athletics YouTube, Facebook, and Twitter pages. We're also on the audio side, just like we are this weekend. And the games tomorrow, too. The Varsity Network app, riceowls.com, and the Rice Owls game day. All those, Coach. There's a lot to remember.
A lot.
All at once. We're just everywhere. So you got Lamar tomorrow, rematch against the Cardinals. Solid team, 18-13. McNeese, 20-11, coming in Wednesday for these 5-game weeks. Mm-hmm. It's all about, like some of what Coach Bangs talked about, maximizing the guys in the bullpen, getting a lot of guys some good looks. Huh?
That's right. Just trying to create the best matchups we can against them and whoever we play. So we're taking a look at what these teams are like and pitching the guys that we think are better suited for Lamar to pitch against Lamar, the guys that are better suited to pitch against McNeese, all at the same time thinking about who's going to be throwing for us on Friday, who do we want available to pitch in the weekend.
Yeah, and speaking of the weekend, you've got Coach Woodard's team coming in. They're 15-15, but they're 6-5 in league play. They split a doubleheader against UTSA and got the other one rained out. Mm-hmm. Charlotte, always a good hitting team. They got Cam Fisher, one of the better players in the nation this year.
That's right. So I remember them last year. I thought their top 5-6 hitters were probably the best in our league last year. So they lost a few of the guys, but they still have a couple of them, Cam being one of them as well, that we're taking a look at. Tough out. You know, he really is a pain in the butt up there hitting. So we got to watch out for him. I'm sure there's a couple other. Their shortstop is also a very good hitter, and their center fielder is also projected to be a pro prospect. So there's some talented guys there. They always have a few arms that are really tough to face. So you know, it's just ultimately it's like that with most teams in our conference. They have a few really good hitters and they have a few really good arms, and we're going to have to face them and figure out a way to be successful against them. If not, just at least wear them out and not let them pitch too deep into the game, and hopefully get into that bullpen as soon as possible.
Thank you, Coach. Busy week. See you at the bar.
All right, see you then.
Appreciate it. Bixby family at baseball coach for Rice Owls, Jose Cruz Jr. Stay tuned again. Coming up, we also have Blue-Gray Weekend coming up. We have Rice Spring Football on Saturday. Busy weekend. Rice Tennis and, of course, Rice Baseball out there at the Rec. Happy late birthday to T.R. Reckling. Turned 92 years young this past Saturday. And if y'all didn't catch the broadcast, Coach Graham turned 87 years young on Thursday. I won't spoil it here, and we don't have the time. We got a few good Coach Graham stories in there, and he responded too. It was a hoot hearing from Coach Graham. But have a great night. God bless. Thank you very much. Thanks to Walter here. Thanks to Zach back at the studio, Coach Cruz. Thanks to Parker Banks, Aaron Smiggy, and JBS, Jack Ben Shoshan. More next week. Coming up, it's the Jose Cruz Jr. Show here at Palace Social from Learfield.
Have no post-game plans? You do now. Head down the street to Little Woodrow's in Rice Village and relax over indoor and outdoor games, sports, and drink specials that a college student can't refuse. All you have to do is bring your student ID to enjoy $2.50 domestic drafts. Also, don't miss out on our Thursday college nights as we've got $2 domestic drafts and $3 shot specials. Follow us on Facebook and